Morning everyone. A very good morning. Shall we begin the session? Today's topic is session number 15, that is the web services. So what are the various services that is available on the web that are known as the web services? So these are the last topic that we are going to discuss within this module, that is the web application development. Next we are going to start with the object-oriented programming again. Yes, because so many doubts coming up for the object-oriented. So shall we start right now or shall we wait for others? Okay. About the web services that are the more or the last option for reusing the code that is to be discussed over here. And in addition to the reusing code, whatsoever the reusing code we are using up, so web services are also contributing to making web processing more efficiently by distributed processing, because they permit a number of applications on different applications or different locations. So there are multiple applications that are available on different locations to share, as well as software as computing services. So whatsoever the data, whatsoever the processing they have, whatsoever the capabilities, whatsoever the distributing processing they have, they permit a number of the applications on the different locations to share or retrieve what vector they are using, what locations they are using, and the different locations with the different software. And the technology can best be explained over here. So assuming a number k of end user, that is a client, so end user 1, application 1, end user 2, application 2, and still so on, application k and the end user k. So these are the applications. So these are the, we can say, the technology that is processing with the distributed. So there are so many distributed criteria that will be used with the different locations, the share as well as computing the resources. So when I use the resourcing, that means whatever some material we are using up, whatever the data we are using up, that means we are getting up the material, we are getting up or using the material that is shared by someone else. No, these materials are the part of this one. So end user 1, application 1, end user 2, application 2, end user k, application m. That will be required, that will be used over here. So there are multiple applications, there are multiple users that will be divided within the web services. So end user 1, application 1, end user k, application m, web services m. So there is an interaction among the end users, applications, and the web services, that requesting the applications from a set of end servers. And some of the applications requires, however, special components residing in a second set of end servers that are providing the result of their components. So whatsoever the components, whatsoever the data they have, so they are getting their components, they are getting their acquirer, so they are getting their special educators, special component that residing in a second set of the end servers, which are providing the result of their component known as the web services. The services are like the applications of the first set of servers that are offered on the net and can be integrated into the different applications just as if they are local components. And to the end users, the application they request will appear as if the applications are executed by the application servers or not. And if they are executed, they will be getting benefited from this application server. As per this example, assume that the end users request with the both applications 1 and the m, while end users k request application m. So to deliver the application, one needs both the web services 1 and the m. Because yeah, very good. One is the application and is the one is the user and is the application. Yes. So whatsoever the file we are using up, whatsoever the interaction we are using up, that interaction must be among the end users, application and the web server. That requires that requesting the application from a set of the end servers. Now, for example, some of the application requires only special component that residing in a second set of the end servers, which are providing the result of their components as a web services. In these cases, the services which are like the applications of the first set of the server that are offered on the net and can be integrated in the different applications just as they were the local components. So they are supported as a local component, they are used as a local component. So whatsoever the data they are using, or whatsoever the profile they are using up, they are getting their profile, they are getting their no so-called profile that are used with their application as a list of the servers. Yeah, they are the local server as I said, but these are the applications that will be required with the application, for example, in. And to deliver that application, the user, for example, needs a web services that must be obliged, that must be used to deliver. And web service is a concept which has entered the web arena in the last few years. Even though the technology is supported by the major vendors, these have a potential for contributing to the remote distributed processing or on the net that is still controversial. So it uses a set of the standard technologies that includes TCP/IP. Now, tell me anyone, what is TCP/IP? What is the full form of TCP/IP? Oh, I want only the full form of TCP/IP. Yeah, it uses a set of the standard technologies. So this TCP/IP, that is a transmission control protocol or the internet protocol, and the IP, the same internet protocol, HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol, XML, that is extensible markup language, then universal description, recovery, and the integration, that is UDDI. So these are the few standard technology that will be included. Yeah, that includes the SOAP also. That is a simple access protocol, simple object access protocol. So sorry, and the STL or WSTL, that is a web service description language. So these are the various technologies or the standard that is available within the arena of the few years. Even though the technology is supported by the major vendors and seems to have a potential for contributing to the remote distributed processing on the net, that is again still controversial. So whatsoever the data they are using or whatsoever the profile they are using so they are the set of the standard that will be used that includes the TCP/IP, HTTP, XML, and the UDDI, WSDL, and the so. And this web service is an open integration technology or the source technology that is supported by many important actors in the web domain. And this web service is said to be created by its developer and consumed by their users. So ColdFusion MX supports creation as well as the consumption of the web services by the CFMX component technology that is discussed over here, and also the general technologies for the web services for the database that will be used as establishment for the developer and the consumers to maintain their knowledge about the state of the art. And in this session, we review the UDDI, WSDL, so, and also discuss how to create and consume a web services. Now let's see what is the meaning of the universal description, discovery, and the integration. So first condition for being able to consume or for being able to do a web service is to know its existence. And there's a UDDI registry That is a facility registered or facility available for locality or locating the sources of the web services. It can be a local enterprise restricted or an open public registry. And the market actors as IBM and the Microsoft are running global UDDI. And a popular UDDI is a X method to which you can get your own web services registered, your publish services, web services in your own UDDI. And CFMXS does not contain any special feature for establishing an UDDI, but the design and the development of an UDDI can be done by means of CFMX. These are reviewed as a web services, these are reviewed as a CFMX component technology. And yeah, these components are also used as a profile. Hello. So WSDL, that is a web service description language, that is an XML format used for describing the net services. And description of web services are therefore standardized in an XML-based service. So whatsoever the XML-based document that is prepared by the web service description language. So this describes the requirement of consuming a web services. So whatsoever the consumptions, whatsoever the data, whatsoever the requirement is used with the web service, that requirements is for the consuming or for describing the requirements. And this CFMX developer does not need to be concerned about writing the WSDL, but he or she develop that is done automatically by the CFMX. Likewise, to view the WSDL of the existing component, that does not require more than typing the URL of the component. So whatsoever the component we are taking up, whatsoever the profile we are taking up, that is component is used with a short extension. And a visit to W3C gives useful and official information on the web services. And visit to W3C also gives very best. What is W3C? That is a World Wide Web Consortium that gives useful and official information on the web services. That should be implemented, that should be taken off. So next part is the SOAP that provides an XML messaging framework used by the web services. And for a CMFMX developer, it is not necessary to learn the SOAP technology, but it will be the concern about is it is handled automatically by the CFMX web service technology. So this is the SOAP, that is a service or simple object access protocol. And these web services creation and consumption is also used in the CFMX that are working on a different web applications within a worldwide organization. An application needs all access codes authorization, and the access must be unique for each user independent of application. So whatsoever the authorization, whatsoever the access code that is required, that is used for the each user independent of application. And the web service providing unique access codes can be the solution. This solution will be used as a web application. It is used as the creation and the consumption in the CFMX that needs to give the access code, authorization, and the codes that must be unique for each user independent of the application. So what profile they are getting up, what data they are getting up, they are used with the user profile, they are used with the user independent of application. And the web service providing unique access codes can be a solution. The next is a web service example. So we use a component developed about to serve in the scenario, and a few changes have been made. The changes are created using the functions, using the components, and each CF function that will be circulated, that will be used in our service component about the access code. Yeah, very good. These are the protocol that must be confined, that must be used, that must be therefore used with these languages that is prepared with the requirements for consuming the web service. that does not need to be concerned about writing the WSDL for the component he or she develops. And it should be done, it is done automatically by CFMX. Likewise, to view the WSDL of an existing component that does not require more than typing the URL, more than visit the W3C, that gives useful and official information on the web services. Next is Simple Object Access Protocol that provides an XML messaging framework used by the web services. And for these developers, for these CFMX developers, it is not necessary to learn the SOAP technology, be it concerned about it, since it is handled automatically by the CFMX web service technology. So these are used as a web service technology, these are used as a part of the CFMX technology that will be provided with the CFMX web service. They are working on the different applications, they are working on the worldwide organizations. They need to use the access code authorization. These must be unique for each user independent of application. That provides the access code to be the solution. Now next is the web service example. So as a component developed, as a form develops, it is used to serve in the scenario and few changes have been made or have to be done. That few changes are created using the components, and each CF function will be used as a component to view the services. Whatsoever the services we are using up, that is creation and the consumption in the CFMX that are working on a different application within the worldwide organization that need all access codes authorization, all user dependent codes that will be done, that will be used as an independent of application. Yes, these are services also provides a unique access code to be the solution. These these access codes will be provided as a solution or to the web service example. Now, next is web service example. This contains what are the various web services functions, what are the various return type, what are the various access codes, components, service application that are defined with the CF function. That are defined with the return type, CF function, above scenario that will be done, that will be taken out, that will be used using the components. And except for these two conditions, the web requirement looks and works as an ordinary component that must be considered as an external component from an CFMX developer point of view. That is therefore very similar to the example that is used in connection, that is used with the web server, that is used with the CF function, remote services, attributes, return type, that is a string number boolean, web components, ordinary component that may be considered as an external components using the CFMX, using the developer point of view, using the examples, using the profile, that is very much similar in connection with the components. So this topic, that is the web service example, I'm going to take in the next class, that is in the tomorrow's class. Right. So if there is any clarifications, any confusion you want to add, then please clarify the doubts. Anything.